Hey everybody, welcome to Goose's Wrestling Pod. I am your host, Ray Goose, and I'm here with Kyle Lewis. Kyle, how you feeling?
I'm doing all right. How you doing?
I'm doing great. We're still in the summer of '98. It's July '98. WWF's pay-per-view is fully loaded. No one knows this, but the '96 pay-per-view was somewhat loaded. The '97 July pay-per-view was half loaded, but this one is fully loaded.
Did not
Um,
know that.
and we're going to talk all about it. But first, let's talk about some new news, new things going on in the world. Jericho made his return to AEW because he saw Thikla and he was like, I want to try to hit that.
Well, we don't know that, but yes.
Mm. um, I'm going to say it flat out. I think that was a mistake from Tony Khan. I think that Jericho doesn't add anything to AEW anymore. I was struggling. I was like, okay, I sat down, I saw the return. Okay, realistically, who do I want to see him wrestle? And there's nobody. There's no feud. There's no feud where I don't think it takes someone down. Unless Jericho's like, I'm gonna elevate Nash Carter into the next Shawn Michaels. Um, but I don't know like what you would do with Jericho. I think sometimes it's addition by subtraction, and I think AEW was doing fine without him. But I also think Jericho saw how AJ Styles and John Cena lost to Gunther, and he didn't want to do that. I don't think he wants to do that. I think he wants to go out like Sting on top. But again, I don't know who you have Jericho. To me, Jericho beating anyone on the AEW roster then retiring is a waste of that person's time. And I just think the best use of Jericho is losing like a bitch to Gunther or someone like that. But he's back. What do you think?
I've yet to see the actual thing. I saw maybe a little bit of the intro, and that's
Mm-hmm.
about it. It's just kind of been a busy week. But no, I was surprised once the news started coming out, and then I saw him come out. I was just like, I thought he was WWE bound. I genuinely thought he was WWE bound. I thought AEW passed him by, and not that he did anything bad, but like he ran his course in AEW, just like times he would run his course in WWE, and then he'd have to go away and come back. I thought he was just done. I thought it was a new era. Like 6 years is a long time, and he could. I thought he could go to the WWE, um, have a feud with Gunther, LA Knight, whoever you wanted him to feud with, be protected, because his matches are not as good as they once were. Just a fact of life. But I thought he'd be protected there. He'd get the nostalgia pop. Like I wanted to see Y2J. I wanted to
Yeah.
break the walls down. I wanted the whole. I'll buy in. I will buy in for the nostalgia run. Let's do it. But hey, I don't know if it's a renew the contract thing or if it's doing the lost dates thing. I don't know which version we got. If Tony Khan just was like, hey, you need to make up these dates, but guess we're not seeing him in WWE anytime soon. And I hope they find something for him to do in AEW. I don't know. I don't have any dream matches in my head, but that's for them to figure out.
Yeah, I just see him getting in the way. Like I just see him like I could see them doing MJF versus him, waste of time. And I think everyone he's gonna he's not like I said he can turn Nash Carter. He's not gonna want to do that. He's gonna want to wrestle like the Hangmans and the Omegas and the MJF is, and I just feel like that's a waste of their time. They've got to. I think I don't know. It's just every time I feel like they're doing things right, they can't. Tony can't help himself, and he does something stupid like this.
I mean, I guess he loves Chris Jericho. I know Jim Ross said like Chris Jericho like behind the scenes was very, very valuable to the company. So maybe that's why they have him there as well. But even trying to elevate people. I remember the Brian Keefe
Yeah, that was a disaster.
and Big Cass. Big Cat. Oh my God, what's his real name? What's the name he says in AEW?
Big Bill.
Big Bill, sorry. Yeah, Big Bill and Brian Keefe. It was fine in the beginning, and then once they split, like you barely saw these guys. They show up, but like any type of thing that Jericho did with them is all that momentum is gone. Action Andretti, another one that's gone. The whole group that he had, that like I don't know.
The Inner
I don't know
Inner
what he
Circle
does.
is a complete fail. Like you want to say what you want about Triple H. Everyone walks out of DX more over and a legend. the inner circle, Jack Swagger is out of wrestling. Sammy Guevara is stuck on Ring of Honor. Fucking the guy Ortiz looks like shit, and Santana did more for himself in TNA and his NXT appearances than anything Jericho did for him. So it's like, and the same thing. Let's talk about the other one, the Jericho Appreciation Society. Was FTR in that? I don't know. They were in the Pinnacle.
Yeah.
Fucking 2.0. One guy's on commentary, the other guy's running a game shop. Daniel Garcia,
I mean, he
uh,
had a kid, so
he's, he's doing okay, I guess. And I don't remember who else was in the Jericho Appreciation Society. It's
I'm
like
looking it up right now.
he's
Jack
another
Swagger
game.
again. Sammy Guevara again. Ty Mello. She's not doing
Ty
that much.
Mello barely on the show now.
Anna Jay may or may not be with the company anymore. Daniel Garcia's doing fine.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I feel like he's getting more out of being a Death Rider than he did out of the
He
nonsense
he he had a weird run because he should have had it with the Jericho feud, and then he
he
got
turned
cooled
on.
off for a long time. Yeah, they didn't have him turn on them. They had him not join the Blackpool Combat Club. They had him stay with the Jericho Society, and then he cooled off, and then they brought him back, and he cooled off again, and now he's with the Death Riders, and he's in the middle. But like he was one of those guys that people thought was NXT bound because of just how much they cooled him off, and he stayed with AEW, which I guess is working out for him in the long run. But
Yeah, I don't
yeah, I
know.
mean, yeah, it's
It's
been a weird run. MJF, he helped elevate. They did that the singing thing.
Cassidy, he didn't do anything for it. He tried when the Orange Julius match where they fell into the thing of champagne.
Yeah, I remember that.
Ricky
Not, I,
Starks, he did nothing for. Eddie Kingston, he did nothing for. He doesn't get
I think
anybody.
he helped Eddie a little bit. I'll give him
Yeah, the
Eddie
buffet. He was like, "Here's an extra
and
plate."
Bandito. I'll give him Bandito. But no,
It just,
I just think he would have been better suited in WWE
yeah,
personally.
at this
But
point, yeah, it's
yeah,
over. But
I'm not saying he has to lose to Gunther at WrestleMania but this year. But yeah, it also seems like WWE is like on their retirement tour fetish. And that's kind of why they wanted him back. That's what the rumors are saying as well,
well, I
that
mean, he should be
kind of
there. I
want him
mean,
to
I
retire.
know he doesn't want to. I know he still thinks he's 20 years old, but he's 55 years old. I
Yeah.
mean, we've been covering him on this podcast now for months, and we're still not even in 1999. The guy's been around forever. Everybody else on these shows is done except for him and Billy Gunn and Edge.
Yeah.
And at least Edge, you can say, had years off, so like it feels like
Well, Edge
eh,
is coming to the tail end of Cope is coming to the tail end of his career. Billy
yeah,
Gunn wrestles so sporadically that it's fine. But
Jeff
Jericho was like
Jarrett
a
is
full-time
sporadic.
guy for the most part.
Jeff Jarrett is sporadic. It's
Yeah.
just it's like I don't think Jericho. I think Jericho has a very hard time not being 20 years old,
Hmm.
and that's not my problem. Like you need to accept the fact that you're old and you'll be dead soon. So let's move on.
Yeah, I won't say all that, but hopefully they figure out something. Hopefully they have some good ideas with him. I don't know. I don't see it, but maybe they have something in the wings
Yeah.
for Chris
Now,
Jericho, or he'll be
now
on commentary for 2 years.
this other thing, I don't think we should talk too much about because we're going to get a revelation tonight on SmackDown on whatever it is. But I do want to talk briefly. We talked a little bit off mic, but I'll talk a little bit about it. So I was home on Monday. I put on Raw. My whole family actually sat over and watched it.
Mm,
And I got to tell you, that opening segment with Stephanie, I felt sometimes I watch wrestling with other people and they'll put on a segment where I feel like an idiot that I'm watching this with other people that don't watch this. And that
mm,
Stephanie segment was definitely one of them. Um, if you don't know anything about wrestling, that made Cody Rhodes look really bad. She was barely cutting a promo. And then they made a Vince McMahon reference. I said this to you offline. I'll say to you again. WWE needs to move away from the McMahons. I'm talking anyone remotely related to Vince McMahon. And they need to do it. They needed to do it 3 years ago. I think this is one of the reasons why The Rock isn't around. Maybe and this might age poorly if he shows up tonight because it's never going to be a new era with Stephanie McMahon doing a podcast and Triple H being the front of every promo. It still feels like because Vince still sees these people. We can pretend that he doesn't. We can pretend that Stephanie is mortified that he rapes and harasses women. She doesn't give a shit. Okay, that's the bottom line. She doesn't care. That's her father. They all still talk to him, so he can still influence this fucking company. Um, and I really do think you need to move away from this fucking guy. They never have, and I don't know. It's just never gonna be what it should be until you chase all the McMahons out. Like chase them out. Like don't even fire them. Like have pitchforks and chase them down the block. What is your thinking?
I don't think they're ever gonna get chased down. You know, it's their baby. I do think there's Vince McMahon, like Vince McMahon will have some influence, even if he's not officially in the WWE spectrum. We're just talking about Easter. There's Easter. They're gonna see each other over the holiday. There's no
Yeah,
way they're not. So I don't know. They mention it at the table, be like, oh, this Cody Rhodes thing. Who knows? And he throws a line in or two. You don't know. But the segment didn't bother me too much. It was random. I was just like, why is she here? But then it made me think that a McMahon was coming, whether it's Vince or Shane. Shane McMahon hasn't had a lot of good equity in the eyes of the WWE universe anyway, so I don't think he'd be that good of a choice. I think it has to be like The Rock. I know some people wanted to be like John Cena. It's not gonna be John Cena. They're not doing another John Cena heel turn with him as a manager. So I'm thinking it's either Shane McMahon or The Rock, which is like I can't think of anybody else. Like Arn Anderson would be a letdown. Sorry, Arn. Ric Flair would be fine. They did it before.
but he's under Tony Khan contract until
Yeah, as far as we know, he's under Tony Khan's contract. I know people thought it was gonna be Jericho. I think that would have been weird. Um, Unless Triple H is like inserting himself into the story and a little evolution thing. But Batista would be an interesting shock. I don't think that's happening, but that would be kind of random.
good.
Yeah, that would be a big surprise.
Yeah,
Uh,
I don't want to speculate too much because this is coming out when
yeah, I'm just kind of doing it off the top of my head now. But yeah, the McMahons, I just think they're never gonna, as long as WWE is WWE, it's never gonna be rid of the McMahons. And I'm not saying get them out, but then they also have their children. Their children are expressing interest in writing and producing and being part of the big family. And once they're out of college, they pretty much have a job, even if it's like production assistant at first. They have a job if they want it.
if I was Nick Khan, if I was any, if I got promoted to a level of Nick Khan, because remember Nick Khan was nobody a year ago. If I if I was any if I got I would be like to McMahon's kids. That's great. You want to work in wrestling? You should talk to Tony Khan or Anthem or New Japan and go work over there. I just would be like, I don't want anything. I don't want anything to do with them, and we don't need them. We don't need them. I
I
don't think
think
any,
Nick
I don't
Khan
think any
like he
add
likes
any.
them a lot.
Who?
He think Khan's like a really good friend of the
No, but I'm
McMahons. So I
saying
don't
like if
see
I
him
like
if you were Nick Khan.
if I'm an executive, because there's a guy right now working at like ESPN or Disney Plus that's going to get promoted to WWE 10 years from now. There's like some guy out there, and if
Hmm
I was that guy, I would be like, I don't want to see anybody related to Vince McMahon. I don't give a shit. Like we can make it like they're not the only people on the planet that can book wrestling. We'll make it work. Who cares?
I think
You
the only way they're
know?
out is if this Janelle Grant case gets very public and they're all convicted. That's the only way you will never see them again.
Yeah. Well, it's
And
always
more
been.
has come out about that. I don't want to really talk about that, but more has come out about that, and it's not good for them.
It's what we
So,
expect. Look, here's the deal. If you don't think Triple H, Stephanie, Shane, Nick Khan knew about this, you're a buffoon. And it's
mhm.
gonna come out. And the longer they wait to do something, the worse. That's why the other thing is like they should have got rid of as soon as this came out in the early 2024, they should have told Triple H to take a hike. But especially because Rock was really making a power play back then. But come
But
on, it's
I
like
don't even think The Rock would have time to do it. I know he would love to run it, but it's a pretty big movie star still.
Yeah, no, I know, but it's just well, Brian Gewirtz. You make him the fucking Triple H. Brian Gewirtz.
He could do it.
Yeah, you make him. You make him, and you bring back. I don't know. You fucking put Bully Ray in there with him. I don't know.
Oh boy. I'm sure people would love that. They got
Hey,
mad.
listen. He didn't fucking poop on any woman's heads that
Oh,
we
that's what
know.
he said, Charlotte Flair. Because he said he would have liked if Charlotte Flair was the person on the
That's
phone.
stupid. That's stupid. That's
I
fucked
didn't
up.
hate it, just 'cause the evolution kind of thing. It would have been a weird swerve, like an ECW-ish swerve. Like, oh, you think Charlotte is one way, but she's actually this way.
You know,
Um,
you
but
know
then you
who'd
don't
be a
have
good
anyone
person.
else.
You know who'd be a
Who?
good person to be on the phone, but
Who?
you have to like write him off as soon as he shows up. Is Ted DiBiase Jr. Now that he's free, he should be the guy on
Well,
the phone.
yeah. I mean, I can see them bringing him in for like 2 seconds and then getting his ass beat.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He should be the guy on the phone, and Randy Orton should be like, "I want to thank you for your advice, but I got it from here." And then they RKO him, and he's out of there, and he's out. And then you have the Mountie show up and arrest him.
Oh my God, people be so mad at if that happens.
No, I think, but that'd be good. Listen, he was found innocent. Like
No,
you,
not that part. I think they'd be mad that this whole like who's the mystery person turns out to be Ted Jr. and he's gone in 2 seconds.
well, you could make him Randy's manager, but he looks out of shape to me. But he's the
Yeah,
guy
he's
with the
pretty
most
old.
history, and he's the guy with the most. Like, it would make the most sense if we, if we're supposed to, if everything's in continuity, which is what it's supposed to be, he'd make the most sense. But and he's innocent, so he could be on TV.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, everyone
yeah.
else is like locked out. Like Dustin Rhodes would have been interesting, but obviously he's AEW for life. So,
Well, it'll be watching be about Venus. Okay,
all
so
right.
let's talk about Fully Loaded. I gotta say, man, watching this show, you know, WCW still could have turned it around. This undercard is the pits. I mean, there's some bright spots, and they are winning. There's this weird thing. We just spoke about Vince McMahon. Now about to give him his flowers. There's this weird thing now because I had a fight with Buffy fans on Threads, where when someone's outed as a creep and a loser, we're supposed to not give them credit for what they've done. Like people were trying to argue me that Josh Whedon had nothing to do with the success of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which he was executive producer, showrunner, creator, head writer. I think he had something to do with the fucking success of the stupid fucking show.
Mm.
Um, but because he makes people feel uncomfortable, they don't want to give him that credit. And sometimes when I look back at Vince at this era, I want to say it was Austin. I want to say I got to think that the main reason that WCW is struggling are the McMahon segments on Raw because it ain't let me tell you it ain't Vader versus Mark Henry and it ain't the LOD versus DOA. There is no reason why WWF should be beating them with this fucking shit roster. But they had my attention, they had your attention, they had the world's attention because I think McMahon and Austin are really good in the mic and you got to hand it to Vince McMahon because he just did it himself. What do you? And The Rock's not there yet. Obviously, The Rock is a big part, but he's not. He's about to be there, but he's not there yet. I don't think The Rock right now in July of '98 is a big reason why people are not watching Goldberg and watching WWF. He's going to be there. I think it's all McMahon. But what do you think?
Yeah, I think the McMahon Austin thing. Well, we talking about the McMahons. So that's why they keep going back to the McMahons because the McMahons drive ratings for a lot of people. People kept coming back for the McMahons. So especially Stone Cold and Vince, like that was the thing. That's also why we have these talking segments on these pay-per-views. Because the cards are not that great, but people want to see the Kane promo, the McMahon promo, the Sable promo. Like they want to see these big names. Their top stars are more in like to people like overshadow the entire WCW undercard because WCW has a great undercard. If this was Raven versus Saturn on this show and the same Stone
Oh,
Cold
it was
on
the
the main
show.
event, yeah, it'd be an amazing match. Jericho, Mysterio, all that, like it would be a dream. It'd be a dream show, but that's not what happened. People just really love the top storylines and the top characters, and it carries them through even if everything else is lackluster.
Yeah, because it's very lackluster. But I'll tell you, man, they're doing a great job. Like they don't have much to work with, but they're making it work. Like we'll get into this later, but If you in October of '90, if you had a scene where Billy Gunn is beating up Kane, you'd be like, this fucking thing's dead in the water. Kane's getting beat up by Billy Gunn, but they do it here, and it's like I really like, wow. In since October, they've put so much work in that when Road Dogg and Badass Billy Gunn are squaring off against Kane, it doesn't look stupid. These guys were jobbers a year
Hmm.
ago, and it doesn't look stupid that they're beating up the hottest heel in the company. And it's like Vince is like, I think Vince's attitude here, and I think it's an attitude everyone should have. If all I got is Road Dogg and Billy Gunn, you're gonna believe in Road Dogg and Billy Gunn, and that's it. And that's it. And I'll make $1 billion with these two scumbags. If that's what I got, that's what I got. And it's working. It's working, man. I'll take because those guys stink in the ring. When we get, they don't wrestle this show, but the next few months they have some really bad matches. But it
I
doesn't
mean,
matter.
they're very personality driven wrestlers. And
Mhm.
they'll probably tell you that themselves. At least the Road Dogg would. But they're
The road dog does. The road dog knows it's all. I'm a sports entertainer. I'm not like a fucking pro wrestler, but
yeah.
he made it work.
No.
The other thing about watching all these in a row because you don't get it when you like skip around when you watch when you're at home in like 1998 you watch Fully Loaded and you watch WrestleMania 4 then you watch fucking King of the Ring 96 like you rent a bunch of tapes and watch them but when you
Hmm.
watch these all in a row man these shows as just from the pure work rate they really miss Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels. Like those guys really made these shows must see TV, no matter how bad the angles got. But they're doing better business without these guys. And even though the pay per views, like they're like looking at them in a vacuum, they're not as fun to watch.
Hmm.
They're, they're making more money than God right now. There's a lot of lessons to be learned.
Yeah,
Um,
people talk about how the Attitude Era was kind of overrated because of the work rate. That's what people like to say now. I mean, it's really about moments. There are matches. I mean, Triple H versus The Rock wasn't terrible
no,
at all, but there are matches. But you remember, the Undertaker getting tossing Mankind off the cell, Undertaker dressed as Kane, Austin and the bedpan, McMahon. You remember the moments.
Austin and Zamboni.
And it's Austin and Zamboni, Austin and the Gun. You can do a million Austin of them. That's what you remember the most about this era, especially at this time. I think match quality increases a little bit when you get like Kurt Angle and Edge and Christian and the
Oh,
Hardys and all that and stuff. But at this particular time, like even Owen Hart, Ken Shamrock was like, I mean, it was just a thing to set up what I thought would have been Dan Severn and Ken Shamrock, but I guess didn't happen.
yeah. No, and to be honest, there are people on this card I really thought were going to be the next. I really thought at this point in my life, July of '98, I thought Val Venus and D'Lo were being groomed to be big deals. Like I really thought Val Venus, this was like I think a lot of people thought like, oh, this is a DOA gimmick. Oh no, this is just the gimmick to get him in, and then they'll adjust it in a year or two. And they
Hmm.
try, but he just doesn't have it. But he's pretty good in the ring. I mean, we'll get into the show in a second, but both guys are pretty good. They have a lot of promise, and I think that they also thought like we are Shawn Michaels 93 right now, and
Hmm.
and I kind of think D'Lo Brown. I don't think D'Lo Brown was ever the same after the Dross thing, and I just think Val Venus is a piece of shit. So, but there. Listen, in a different world, I could, if these guys kept their heads on straight, I could have seen a world where they are future main eventers. It just didn't happen.
Yeah, I think D'Lo Brown especially had a lot of promise, and the injury not only shook him up. I think the rumors that they lost faith in him after that. It was
Yeah,
just an unfortunate,
that's
terrible
what they
accident.
too.
Yeah, it's hard
Mm-hmm.
to come back from something like that. And it just never materialized after that. Also, you put him with Chaz and Lowdown or whatever dumb shit they were doing. That's not really gonna help him. Val Venus, he took away the thing that made him popular. I guess they thought he was a little stale, and he never recovered after Right to Censor. I mean, he also like he was for a guy like that. He was Intercontinental, he was European champion, he was tag team champion. He did everything that he was gonna do. He wasn't gonna be the world champion. He wasn't gonna be closing out the main events every week. He had a couple of them, but he wasn't gonna be closing them out. So I think he hit the plateau that he needed to hit.
he never went to the next level. He is showing a lot of promise in this match. We're already jumping ahead to this match. He shows a lot of promise in this match, and he holds his own, and it looks like he's got a lot of fire. He's trying to prove something, and he
Hmm.
kind of just when they you proved it because he feuds with Mick Foley in a year, and they kind of tease he's going to feud with Austin,
Yeah.
and you proved it, and here's your big okay, here's your shot, and he fucking fails miserably, you know.
Yeah. No, I mean, I can't remember the last Val Venus feud I cared about after the kind time. Well, I guess the Chief Morley, I guess.
He
But
was good as Steve Morley, but I'm
yeah.
still I thought that character was going to be him morphing into like a more Triple H level character, and then they just kind of put him back as Val Venus, and then that was it for him for the rest
Yeah.
of it.
They're like, hey, people like this. So he was with them till 2009, which is crazy. Like,
Dude, I
it's such
remember
a
like
long time.
he wrestles Umaga on Raw in 2008,
I was there. It was in like Albany.
and he gets annihilated. But like I
Yeah.
was watching it, be like, I can't believe like my life is so different now. This guy's still here. Like I've gone through so many changes in my life since from '98 to 2008. This guy is still fucking here, and he looks like an idiot. And it's
That's
like,
how people feel about the Big Show. You have
oh,
so
the
many
big show.
life
What do you think of the
changes.
big show? The big show. So for me, there would be Mondays I wasn't working at Caroline's, and I'd be
Mm.
home. This is like we're talking like 2012, 2013, 2014, and Raw would be really bad, and his music would hit. His music was the theme song of Regret and Why Didn't I Do Things Different in My Life around 2012, 2013.
Well,
Yeah, because it's like how many years am I gonna watch this guy and hear this song since I graduated high school and now I'm in my 30s and this fucking guy is still coming out to this song. That was the song of regret. That was the every time he walked out felt like a moment of regret.
that's so unfortunate. Oh, Big Show though. And that was in AEW. Now you hear this a different kind of well. He still wants to be out there. He's training for more matches. We're gonna get Big Show versus Jericho, Paul White versus Jericho at Double or
It's different than
Nothing.
AEW. It's different in AEW. He can come out every week. I'm not gonna have that. But I do feel like he was still on Raw walking out to that song. Like he never.
I would be upset if the Big Show was like the person that Randy Orton was talking to. I would not be happy.
All right, so let's get into the show. We almost already got into the show. The first segment, and this to me, it's kind of like the turning point with Sable. This is like what the haters. Jerry Lawler's in Sable's dressing room. She gives him a sneak peek of her bikini. They're gonna have a bikini contest with Jacqueline. This to me, when this show started and the way Sable's acting, I'm like, oh, they've completely abandoned I'm a woman who's standing up for herself and I will not be abused to look at my tits. That's her character now. They've abandoned the original version of that character. I kind of feel like that version of the character died when Mark Merrill pinned her. I really thought that in the when I got back in early '98, I thought what they were building towards. You're gonna laugh. I thought they were gonna build towards a Sable versus Val Venus match where she stands up for women and they have like a competitive match and China helps her. I thought like they were on the road of women are equal to men in WWF, and they
Definitely
abandoned that.
not.
They abandoned that, and it's just basically the characters. This whole show and the promos they show of her with Jacqueline, the character is just now a bitch who wants to show her tits. She's no longer like standing up for herself. She's no longer, like a man can't tell me what to do. It's it's a lot what the haters say about Sable. This is where the twist comes, where it's they kind of ruin the character. What did you think of the opening thing with her and Jerry Lawler?
It was definitely, stupid, but of the time, they definitely moved Sable's character to just being, I wouldn't call her a bitch yet, but she's just more sultry and more like, hey, like in their mind, she's comfortable with her body, but in their mind, also they just want her to show off.
Yeah.
That's about it. They just want her to show because she's still standing out. Like the mans are like, don't wear this. She's like, I'm gonna wear what I want. We'll get to that later. And she's still fighting Mark Merrill, so she's still like fighting for her, not necessarily freedom, but fighting for her values. But now it's just the sex appeal is turned all the way up. As before, like she would at least still wear regular clothes, and now she's barely wearing anything.
Yeah, it's funny because yeah, it's yeah. As soon as thing was started, I'm like, oh yeah, this is what the haters are talking about when when talking about Sable. First match, it's Val Venus versus Jeff Jarrett with Mr. Yamaguchi-san on commentary. As we all know, Val Venus slept with Mr. Yamaguchi-san, underage wife. The girl was underage that they were using. He didn't really sleep with an underage girl, but you know, it's acting, but still,
Wait,
that was
the girl that they used was underage?
yeah, she was under 18, I believe.
No, boy.
Um, but she
That's
wasn't
crazy.
that we know. She didn't sleep with anybody, so nobody committed statutory rape that we know. But also, in the state of New York, if she was 17, it would be legal. So hopefully, Valvina.
Well, you never want to have to say that. But yeah, but yes.
I'm just like the storyline is that he slept with her, and the person they used was underage.
Hmm.
So regardless of that, this match was pretty good. This is how Jeff Jarrett should be used to put over people who that they have hope for. Um, it's the right way of use Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett should always put over everybody across the board. Um, and Val Venus, like I said, he feels motivated to prove himself. It's so funny they do this thing where he's like supposed to be, I don't know, like he's a really ugly man. Like there's nothing appealing about him, and
No, he's not a very attractive guy.
it would have been funnier if the women were grossed out by him. Like he's making all these like the women were like, get the fuck like if they cut the women being like, this guy's gross. But I think we're supposed to think women like want him, and I would have been better if he kept striking out. Like Mr. Yamaguchi's wife was like, get the fuck away from me.
Like
And
he's
like
Johnny Bravo.
yeah, that would have been a better. I think that would have got him more over. But him succeeding is
I mean,
just
he was
like
very over. People love this
I know, but
innuendos.
he'd be the new Triple H now. Um, so yeah, but the match is good. I got to give it to Val Venis. The match was good. What do you think?
Yeah, the match wasn't bad at all. It was two people who know how to go, whether you like them or not. They know what to do in the ring. I'm not saying they're gonna give you a Tokyo Dome match, but they know their way around the ring. Val Venis and Jeff Jarrett. This is I don't know when the buzz cut Jeff Jarrett comes in, but hopefully it's soon. I'm tired of seeing this
Next month.
stupid. It's what?
Next month.
Oh, thank God. I'm tired of seeing just the new generation version of Jeff Jarrett just there,
Hmm.
sticking out like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
What as what you were saying about Val Venus is kind of what Carlito wanted for his character until they made him like a real ladies' man. In his idea, Carlito thought he was cool, but he wasn't cool. Like that's why like he was like he wanted him like strike out with women and all that. But then they would just give him like Trish Stratus and Tori Wilson. And that's when he came back at the end. Like he never got Raquel Rodriguez because he's a fucking loser. And I guess that's what you wanted for Val Venus.
Yes.
I thought Carlito was cool, but I was a loser, so I wasn't
Well,
getting girls either.
speaking of losers, D'Lo Brown takes on X Pac. These two, they have a really good match, by the way, in Judgment Day '98. These two had really good chemistry. I watched these matches and I didn't think this was going to be a future main event. I really do feel like the June match X Pac had, I think he didn't have the confidence back. Here, he has the confidence back. He's I think he feels again. I think in July '98, X Pac feels like I'm going to elevate myself into the level that Scott and Sean were at, and this is where I start doing it. And these two really have a good match. These I know I said, oh, the show's not that good, but for what, like, believe me, when we get later on the show, this was a really fun match. These two have really good chemistry. Is it the greatest thing? No, it's not as good as, like you said, Saturn Raven, but it's pretty good. And both guys are carrying themselves like they have hope. The hope will be dashed in a few years and they'll go nowhere. But for now, they have hope, and you can see it. They're saying to the audience, "You need to start taking us seriously." I like it.
No, I agree. I think D'Lo Brown and X-Pac were two people that you hoped in the future, the next 5, 10 years would have better careers. Things have happened and it just didn't work out that way. X-Pac was really, really close. Really, really close. Once they turned on him, Triple H turned on him and teamed with Kane, he was like very popular. And I don't know. The last thing I remember, I think he got hurt. He feuded with Jericho and he got hurt, I want to say.
Well,
Um,
no, he didn't get hurt. He got with Just Incredible, which is worse than getting hurt.
no,
And
that was like a year later. Like in '99, I think he got like a stinger again because he goes away for a little, or like they don't know what they do is they turn everybody heel. So you're
Mhm.
just like X-Pac was pretty popular. Road Dogg was pretty popular as singles career. And then they reformed DX to do it, and then he just never got back up. But I remember X-Pac being like over with Kane, and like he was the number like three face, but he was like, at least in the top five. Yeah, it just didn't materialize. But this match was good. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed D'Lo. I enjoy X-Pac. Um, I wished it worked out better for them years later, but did fine here.
um, shit, what was I gonna say? Yeah, X Pac never should have turned on Kane. X Pac and Kane together had great character development, and I
Yes.
think it's character development that could have taken both to the next level. What I mean by that is I think like
They also didn't have their feud. Like they
you
had it like
carry
no way out.
yeah that feud what the matches weren't very good, but if you keep doing that character development with Kane, he's the guy that you can main event a WrestleMania with him in a singles match with somebody one on one, which Kane never had.
Mm,
Um, Turning X Pac on him kind of took away the character development those two had, and I think like people stopped giving a shit about X Pac after that.
yeah.
And it was just it was a big mistake, and well, we'll get there. We'll get there. We got a lot of big mistakes before we get to that big mistake. Was a big mistake for Triple H though, because he's like another click guy I don't have to worry about while I take over this company. So Edge, we see Edge. He's in the crowd. He's being mysterious. He's
What
looking for
happens with
the
that guy later?
yeah, Edge is in the crowd. Then Dr. Tom Pritchard, I guess, was now on the C level announce team because him and Kevin Kelly are hosting the web show. Again, we got to get these web show things out on the vault. But Undertaker's not the whole thing is Undertaker to show up to the arena, which I kind of think whatever. It's a kind of a, but I think I guess that like we have to have this storyline and make people think that Austin's gonna have to wrestle by himself. They're building this whole show does feel like it's building for SummerSlam more than putting on a good show. But anyway, what do
Yeah.
you think? What do you think of all that all Undertaker might not show up bullshit that goes out throughout the show?
It's well, I know he was showing up, so it doesn't really do anything for me. But yeah, no, it's trying to build that these pay-per-views are adding raw elements. The past few ones we watched, they're adding raw elements to the pay-per-views instead of just having like a straight pay-per-view. Because I think they want people to just keep that hook, and they think this is like the secret sauce, which it is because the matches aren't that good. So you need to add these like, will Undertaker make it? Will the McMahons talk? Will he and Sable interact? Like things like that, almost like a raw extra to get people to keep people invested and wanting to then watch Raw and then buy the next pay-per-view.
Yes, and yeah, and you know what? I think because when I watch these lives, I did like talking segments. So okay, so let's move on. Up next, a very random match. It's Terry Funk and Bradshaw versus Farouk and Scorpio. Before the match, Terry Funk reveals that he's going to go back to his ranch. He's retiring again. The funniest thing about this segment is Terry Funk's old. I'm retiring. I'm done. Bradshaw's like, fuck you. I'm just getting started. Uh, Bradshaw retires in 2009. Terry Funk has his last match in 2017.
Huh.
So
I
I
didn't
think
even think of it that way.
I think that's really so. Terry Funk has 20 more years of wrestling.
It's
Not that
just,
he does it every day, but he does it enough. Um,
yeah,
so that's pretty funny. And Bradshaw only has 11 years left of his
yeah,
career.
yeah. His back is like destroyed.
Yeah. So it's just really funny. So yeah, and you know what's crazy? Like Bradshaw, like has so many injuries, and you watch his matches, and you're like, well, he's not really like killing himself, and it just goes to show you that we really don't know what a lot of these moves do to you. Like
No,
Hogan, the leg drop is what basically I think Hogan's basically dead because of the leg drop. That's what caused so many of his issues in later in life. You know?
I thought it was leukemia.
Well, the leg drop gives you leukemia.
Okay.
Uh, but
A
no, he
good
had a lot of
battle.
issues. He probably could have wrestled longer
Yeah,
than.
I know he had a lot of back injuries, a lot of back
Yeah.
surgeries. And that sucked for him because if he's wrestling and say he and Stone Cold actually had that match in 2007 or something they tried to do, if he's
Mhm.
not doing the leg drop, people are like, what the fuck? It's like
Yeah.
Jeff
Well,
Hardy
that's the
now.
leg
Jeff
drop.
Hardy does like a twist of hate, like submission. He still does a swanton, but he added like a second submission or something.
Well, you
I was like,
gotta. Yeah, he.
yeah, but you don't want to see Jeff. You go see Jeff Hardy. You want him to put a wrist lock on? No.
It's so funny. His last match in TNA, he doesn't do the leg drop because he physically could not do the leg drop. So,
Yeah, is that the one with Bully Ray?
there's his last match is a six-man tag on a house show. It's him, Sting,
Oh,
and Kurt Angle versus Bully Ray, James Storm, and I think Bobby Roode.
okay.
Yeah, that's his last match ever. And he comes out to Eye of the Tiger. It's on YouTube. You should go look
That's
at it.
cool. I mean, I won't because who's involved,
It was really
but,
good.
but but that's cool for him.
Yeah. So he didn't. I don't think he knew it was his last match. So
Yeah,
I think he still thought I'm gonna have a surgery and then I'm gonna go back to WWE and like wrestle Cena. Maybe.
yeah. I mean, I definitely think he wanted to wrestle John Cena. It just
Well, this is the thing, and this he sued. The original main. You know what the original main event of WrestleMania 25 was gonna be?
what was it gonna be
John Cena versus Hulk Hogan.
in his
Uh,
mind?
no, no, that Vince had an agreement with him.
No.
He failed his physical, and they decided not to do the match.
Well, yeah,
And
fucking 50, 60 years old.
I know, but like,
Sorry.
but like that, people would have been excited about that match.
Oh, they would have loved it. I mean, people would have, the tickets would have been crazy. People were at the height of booing John Cena. Like,
I mean, it's
would
definitely
have,
it's definitely better than him. A Cena for Big Show and Edge. I think Hope Cena Hogan would have been a better match.
no, it would have, if Hogan could move, I'm sure
Yeah,
it
but
would have been very entertaining. Yeah, but he couldn't move.
he couldn't move, and so they pulled it, and Vince pulled the offer, and he sued because this is a lawsuit. He sued this company for fucking up his surgeries, and he's like, "You basically cost me the main event of WrestleMania 25," and
Because the
that's
one thing
that's
he knows how to do is get that money, Hulk Hogan.
yeah. And that would have been a. I still think Undertaker Shawn would have stole the show, but I definitely think WrestleMania 25 would have a lot of hype behind it with those two matches pulling it.
No, I think if had Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, a good Randy Orton versus Triple H match, and John Cena versus Hulk Hogan, you definitely will be looking at that WrestleMania differently. Right
Yeah,
now, that WrestleMania is remembered for Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, Ricky Steamboat kicking
Ricky
ass,
Steamboat a little bit.
and
Hmm.
Triple H, Shawn Michaels just, I mean, Triple H, Randy Orton just shitting the bed, which should not have been done.
That match,
Should
that
have
match,
been, should have been a fight, should have been a brawl. Why are you having a regular match?
that match ruined my life. All right, here we go. So it's Farouk and Too Cold. Match is not that good. I don't think the crowd really cares about these four, including, sorry to say, Terry Funk. Bradshaw turns on everybody. That was the right move. Terry Funk doesn't have another WWF match after this. I think he has like one or two house shows. Then he goes back to ECW. Then he does the Independence for the rest of his life, right? Um, and until obviously he also has one night stand. He goes in the Hall of Fame. He has moments, but his big thing was this is kind of it for him in WWF. So Terry Funk doing the right thing, getting Bradshaw over. I recently listened to Bradshaw's podcast about Vader, and he said this closing angle and the Vader match were laid out by Terry Funk and Vader, and you can't thank them enough because they were like, "You need to just destroy me," both those guys. So yeah, it's the right thing, but however, it's boring, and everyone should be ashamed. What did you think?
I remember that scene because it's one of my brother's favorite scenes when he's like, "I'm retiring," and JBL Bradshaw's face is like, "What the fuck?" He's so angry about it, and rightfully so. I think the interesting part of this now is just watching Farouk fight Bradshaw because
Oh
we see,
yeah,
yeah, we see what happens with them. Like not even a year later, they're the acolytes and then the whole APA. So it's like, oh wow, look at these guys on opposite ends here. That's cool. But outside of that, unfortunately, it's four cold wrestlers, cold momentum for all of them. Good wrestlers, but colds. So the fans don't have any interest. But I thought it was good for Bradshaw, And as we see, it ends up working out for Bradshaw, thankfully.
Yeah, thankfully it does well. We're
Unless you're
gonna,
like one of the people that he bullied and hate him.
you deserve it. Bradshaw comes across as a very nice guy on his podcast. He comes across as more progressive than you think. It's strange, but he also loves Vince still. But the
Yeah.
weird, I get a weird vibe from him that like not in a
I think
good
I think
that
he's like a moderate guy. You know,
yeah.
he's not like not the like bullshit moderate. Like he's like a legitimate like moderate guy.
Sometimes I think that he had enemies that were feeding info to the dirt sheets about him, like people who just didn't like him as a I don't know, because he doesn't come across as what we're told he is. And I think also like when he's on, he said like he said he like there was he said something controversial or something about the internet or something, and he said like I was playing like star rating. He goes, I was playing a character when I said that. Like when I'm on the panel in WWE, I'm playing a character. I'm saying what JBL would say. Like you can't
Hmm.
be like, oh, that's how I really think. I'm called JBL, so I'm gonna do what JBL does. I'm not gonna give my real thoughts on life, you know. And but people think that was really me. I don't know. Oh, I think he said something like Morrow. No, when he said Morrow should be embarrassed that he's like the top. He won the Dave Meltzer Award for announcing. Morrow got
Oh
really.
yeah. Was he in character or was he
He was in character. Yeah, he said like,
okay?
and Morrow thought it was real, and he had to like be like Morrow, like, and Morrow got upset at him. You know,
Nah,
he goes,
poor
Morrow,
guy.
what am I supposed to say? Like, oh, it's so great that Dave Meltzer gave you an award on the WWE TV. Like, you know.
Yeah. No, he definitely has I know he like picked on people and he had his issues with people. I'm not defending him on that. But I think over time history has been kinder to Bradshaw and him just kind of opening up and showing more of himself to, fans who watch his podcast or listen to the podcast. Um like I think that's helped. I think it's helped in the long run. I don't really want to go back and watch JBL matches. Like I can't think of a JBL match I want to go back and watch right now.
Mm,
But he was a very like great character.
yeah. All right. Up next, Mark Henry versus Vader. Uh, this match, I'm looking at reviews of it online. People don't like it. I kind of like it. I don't know. Vader, listen again. More with Bradshaw. Vader set up this Mark Henry and the Bradshaw match. It was Vader's idea. He
Mm.
knows his job at this point is I have to get these guys ready for the future. Mark Henry takes years to get ready for the future, but I don't think you can blame Vader. Vader tried
No,
really hard to shortly get this guy over. I thought it was an okay match. I didn't think it was the worst thing ever. What do you think?
it was there. It was big meaty men slapping meat. That's not what they said in 1998. But that's they were. It was just a big powerhouse match and something to try and showcase Mark Henry. Mark Henry had his own ups and downs. It seemed like there was a company that kind of kept losing faith in him. I remember the rumor was that they kept trying to get him to quit, which is why they put him with, 'cause he had such an expensive contract. Which is why
Hmm.
they put him with like Mae Young and like transgender people and things like that and things like yeah, whatever other stuff that they tried to do to humiliate him. But the former world champion,
Hmm.
he stuck
Oh, with
around.
that.
He continued to heal up. He was the top heel for a little while, and then he had the salmon jacket retirement. Like he's had a very long career, and he's still out here, not wrestling, but he's doing stand up now, and he's doing Busted Open and things like that. So this was just the very very beginning for Mark Henry.
I got to go back and rewatch his match with Randy Orton in 2011. I was
I
kind of like,
loved them. I thought they were so good.
I kind of lost. I kind of was like, whatever. I didn't expect him to actually win the belt. So when he won the belt, but it seems like they had some good matches. It seems like 2011 is like his peak. I'm talking about Mark Henry.
Yeah, Randy Orton had a really good 2011. He had the feud with Christian. He had the feud with CM Punk. Before that, I think he had like fought Miz or something. But he had the feud with Christian, which was like feud of the summer. And then
Yeah.
Mark Henry, like they made him look like a monster. Like they made Mark Henry look actually like dominant. So like it was cool to see him win the title in that way. Then he feuded with the Big Show, which is like okay, but at least they broke the ring.
Yeah.
Um, But yeah, that I just remember those matches being. They gave him a Hall of Pain 2K15 like DLC, which is crazy. Like he had like a DLC pack, and it was like, wow,
Yeah, they really believed in him. All right, and then he
yeah,
also fought Sheamus, Mark Henry.
yeah,
So
yeah. No, yeah, they think he like rammed him through the guardrail. He like it was. He had a good year.
he had a good year. So did Randy Orton. Yeah, it was a good year.
Yeah.
And CM Punk obviously had the best year.
Oh
You know,
yes, he did. Up
yeah.
and
So
down. He had the Triple H part, the Kevin Nash part,
yeah,
but
I
he
know.
got there.
Listen, and he's main event in this WrestleMania. So let's get
Yeah.
into there's a quick segment where we talked about this earlier. Kane, Mankind get interrupted by the Outlaws. They want a title shot against the winners of the main event, and they brawl. And again, like I'm just impressed that the crowd is buying Billy Gunn as a threat to Kane. I thought that was pretty significant to me. So an effective segment. What do you think of this talking segment with these guys?
No, it shows the power of how over DX is. Billy Gunn's not a slouch. He's a big guy. So you can see him kind of going against Kane, and it's not like silly looking.
Mhm.
But the DX was so over, so popular at that time that like you wanted to see them get their titles back, and they looked like they could be a threat to Mankind and Kane, which so I had no problems with it.
Yeah. Then up next, it's DOA versus LOD.
Mm.
And man, not that good. I gotta tell you, they have done so much to hurt the LOD, and they're still getting chance in this match. Um, Bruce Pritchard said, "Why you think we'd really hire people to get them less over?" And I would say yes, because you did it with Legion of Doom, because you went out of your way. These guys could still be top stars. People still wanted to believe in them in '98. You went out of your way to make them look like shit, which includes this match. I don't see anything in Ron and Don Harris. Also, they're Nazis. Uh,
Yes.
but
I went yes.
yeah, they're pieces of shit, both guys. I don't know why they're still kind of involved in wrestling behind the scenes, somewhere. They're garbage. They're garbage human beings, and there's just the way Vince killed the LOD this year in '98. He was trying to kill the LOD. Congratulations, you fucking did it. Go fuck yourself. All right. I didn't really like this match. What do you think?
Oh no, I mean I haven't liked most things that DOA that we've seen like ever on here. I used to love the DOA. I liked when it was the four of them, but the tag team I've never really been into Ron and Don Harris, Skull and Eight Ball. The Legion of Doom, I mean this is the light part of their shitty 1998. I
Oh,
don't
it's about to get a
understand.
bit worse.
Yeah, I don't understand what the fetish was for making the Legion of Doom look like shit. Maybe it's because he didn't have them originally, but like it just even the 90 like after like the honeymoon phase wears off in the early 90s with the Legion of Doom, they just something about them in WWE just never really takes off in the way you think they would. And the fans, you're saying, are behind them 100% still. So you would think that you just, all right, the fans still like these guys. They're still in good shape. Besides any like drugs, alcohol stuff that may be going on, let's give them some type of push. But they just look goofy. And they shouldn't. They shouldn't. They're one of the more popular acts on the show, always. And it just boggles my mind unless it was like, drug alcohol related.
Drug, alcohol. I think Vince had a personal.
Could be. There's a lot of the NWA guys, a lot of the non-WWE guys. We already know this is a fact that like they come into WWE, he wanted to kind of make them look like shit or not make them look as good as they should look.
He Vince McMahon. I mean, he paid. He gave a lot of money to. But in his defense, when Harley Race was dying, he helped out the family. But he had Harley Race wear a crown to mock him. Like he wanted him to look stupid.
Yeah.
You can say whatever you want, but he does things to make people look stupid. And I think Triple H carries on the same way sometimes. They are going out of their way. They are going out of their way to kind of make the Bellas look like fucking losers at
Oh,
this point.
I thought you were gonna say Matt Cardona.
And
Randy
him,
Orton literally called him like an indie nerd on the
oh yeah,
fucking show.
like they still do that. They hire people, and maybe the money's really good. But even Nikki, I don't know if you remember. again, I'm not like the Bellas should be the fucking. I always thought the Bellas' impact was overstated, but on Monday, Nikki Bella takes one shot and then lies there like a dead idiot while every other woman
Oh,
is
because she's not cleared.
okay. Maybe that's it. But
Yeah.
every single time I see a clip of the Bellas, they're getting the shit beat out of them since Brie came back. Like they're like you know what I'm saying? Like that's where how they should have been put. That's how they should have been pushed to begin with. Don't get me wrong, but at this point, the cat's out of the bag. People actually like them and believe in them, and I feel like Triple H went out of his way to be like, you never should have believed in them, which is true. But
No, they won that match. Nikki did get hurt, but they won that match. When she looked really bad was when she turned heel and she was trying to get involved with Stephanie Fakir and
yeah,
Liv Morgan, and like there's like once she like comes out and just gets tossed into the pole and she's like, oh, she like falls like Crash Bandicoot and then she's like done. She does a great Crash Bandicoot sell, Nikki Bella, when she gets hit sometimes that like belly flop like whoa,
yeah,
which
yeah,
that she
yeah.
kind of does. But yeah, she just kind of looked like an idiot when she was like, I am like this generation's whatever. I think the Bellas are just natural heels. They definitely have their fan base and people like them. That is scam likely. People like them, but like the general WWE fan that's in the crowd, that's not on the internet, it's not in the Bella Army, always boos them, even when they're trying to be like nice good guys. I think they're just natural heels, even when they want to be baby faces. I can see them winning the titles and pissing a lot of people off, but they're
I
better
mean,
as heels than they are faces.
those titles don't mean anything, so you might as well give them to the Bellas. So,
Don't tell that to Nia Jackson, Last Legend.
yeah. I would give it to Sabrina Carpenter and that other girl from that show, Rowan Blanchard, if they showed up. You know,
That they have not been together in like 20, not like 11 years. I don't
well,
remember when that
they
show
want to go
ended.
for tag belts. I'm booking them to win it.
That
So
show
this
wasn't that great either, but
that show stuff. Well, though both girls. I saw a picture of the main girl at a premiere of her new movie, and she has grown into a very attractive, hopefully 25-year-old. But anyway,
I won't no comment. I'm happy that their careers are going well.
yeah,
Obviously, Sabrina Carpenter's career is going very, very well, but I'm happy both careers are going well.
if they want to win the tag belts, and I start booking WWE, we'll talk. Okay, here we go.
There you go.
Um, Owen Hart versus Ken Shamrock in Stu Hart's real basement where he tortured men. I think this match is very funny. They're bouncing off the walls like they're the ropes. Uh, Owen hits Ken with a dumbbell. Just a silly, fun match. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I know people back in the day were like, "Ooh!" I think it's like really funny. I think it's funny that it's in Owen's basement. He's dressed like I just picture him when the match is over. He just goes back upstairs and like watches a movie with like his mom. Like I just
They
get a
all
feel.
ate dinner. Yeah, she
Yeah,
made dinner for everyone.
he's dressed like a day to sit on his couch. He's not dressed to wrestle. But I
Yeah,
like it. I enjoyed this match. What did you think?
it
Also,
was
that's gonna
fine.
be awkward. If this was like a real fight, it's gonna be awkward to be like, now you got to get Ken Shamrock out of your house because it's
Right.
it's like your family house. Like, all right, well, okay, you lost the match and we're about to have dinner, so can you just leave?
You and Dan, you guys can take a cab.
Yeah,
I can call a car service for you. We don't have enough. We didn't set enough plates, but you guys can go if you
yeah, I
think
enjoyed
about it that
it.
way. But yeah, no, it was fine. I thought it was more the set, like I said before, to set up another Ken Shamrock, Dan Severn, which seemed like the match that they wanted that just never happened. It was very short. I mean, for someone who just won the King of the Ring, probably shouldn't be losing in that fashion, but it was fine.
Well, he got hit with one of Stu Hart's dumbbells, which
Yeah, that'll do it.
okay. Up next, it's a best 2 out of 3 falls match. It's triple. Oh, I forgot to mention real quick. Vince McMahon has a talking segment where he reveals that if Undertaker doesn't show up, Austin's partner will be the Brooklyn Brawler. I thought that was very, very funny. Again, it plays on the history of the WWE. Brooklyn Brawler is very funny. I enjoyed that segment. What do you think?
I know it was funny. I was like,
Yeah.
oh boy. Brooklyn Brawler. I don't know if you went to this Madison Square Garden house show. It might have been right after Brett left.
Yes, Resident fights Sean for the belt. Yeah.
Yeah, Brawler wins the Battle Royal and he fights Shawn for the title and of course loses. But it happened. It was
Yeah.
cool.
I like stuff like that. They should every now and then they should do stuff like that. Okay.
Well, they've been trying to get house shows back. Some Cody Rhodes is, and everyone else is like, we want to stay home. And
No,
then you
we
get matches like Tiffany Stratton and Julia. And this is not the shit on Tiff. Oh, I do want to talk about that real quick. I know it's not new news, but when I don't know if you saw the reaction to Tiffany Stratton versus Julia. They had a bad match. It's not a good
I didn't
match.
see it. I didn't see it. I didn't
It
see the
was just
reaction.
very, it was just very clunky and stiff, and allegedly the Swanton was bad. Julia peed herself, according to Julia, in an Instagram story. But people were writing off. They found some interview where Tiffany was like, "I want to go to Hollywood, but I'm dirty," and they're writing her off. They're like, she doesn't have it anymore. Like she's fucking 50, 60 years old. She had a bad match. As a wrestler, sometimes they have bad matches. She had a bad match. She doesn't continuously have bad matches. She has matches. They're not like 5-star classics, but they're not like whoa. That was like a match, and let it go. Like oh my God, they're gonna wrestle again, and they'll have a better one. But this one just was not good. That's it.
But I think the problem with her and like Jay Uso and stuff is that they are not getting their reps in. I
No,
think
I
that
agree with that.
Tiffany and Julia would have had that match 3 times before this SmackDown, and it would have been much better. Um, it's just I don't think you can blame people if someone's sitting at home all week and then they go out on live TV. Everyone's wrestling now on live TV. Like
Hmm.
nobody is getting like we're gonna tape this match for later unless you're on main event. Everyone is, and I wouldn't be surprised if they put that on live TV soon. Everyone, whether you're in NXT, WWE, everyone at every level is developing on live TV. And I just don't think that's the way to do it. And I also think that's why a lot of the matches are safer because it's like in terms of the way they pace it, it's because like if we give you something crazy and you fuck it up on live TV, which is what I with Tiffany, it's gonna look really bad on you. And
Yeah.
I think that's why Jey Uso's matches look so rehearsed and stuff. Like the guy defended his belt twice when he had it. He defended his belt like twice, and
Yeah,
it,
they're very weird with title defenses. Like, I mean, the U.S. title they defend all the time. The world title, like two defenses, like you said. Like Io Sky got cooled off after beating the two top women in WWE, and I don't know if that was because of injury or just because of we had nothing for her. I don't know. That's again something that they have to figure out. I don't know. I'm not writing it, but. But yeah, I just thought the discourse was crazy. I think, especially that happens, I guess, over the weekend when you have nothing else going on. You don't have the Monday show, so you have Saturday and Sunday. It's like your kid gets a bad grade and you just yell at them like the entire weekend till their next test. And you're just like, Jesus Christ, guys, they'll bounce back.
yeah. Well, what are you gonna do?
She'll bounce back. But yeah.
I up next, it's Rock versus Triple H. When I saw this match in '98, and I still feel like this, I think they really wanted these guys to be the next workhorse guys. These guys get 30 minutes, the best 2 out of 3 falls match. One of the things I want to point out is China between King of the Ring and this show had some major surgery because did you notice that she is like a much more womanly figure on this show?
Yeah. Yeah, no, they're starting to turn her into like she's like slimming down and things like that.
Yeah, there was something was done, and they're starting to turn her into like something else. But this was fun. It wasn't as great as it's going to be. Again, it's so funny. I'm like, of course, Triple H already is having the longest match on the show. You know,
No, yeah, it was 30 minutes.
yeah, I loved it. I mean, I loved it. It was okay. It was good. It wasn't great. But again, they're in a rough. They're in terms of future, in terms of work rate, they're in a rough patch here. So they've got to develop some of these guys, and this is, I think, what this match was all about. And these guys do deserve more time on the show because history has proven Vince correct. You don't give 30 minutes to Vader and Mark Henry. You give it to these guys. But it is kind of boring, and it ends in a draw, which nobody likes. But again, it's also to set up SummerSlam, which is the
Yeah.
real coming out party for these two. Overall, pretty good. Not the greatest. Lots of interference. What'd you think?
Yeah, I thought it was okay. I thought, they had all the interference. They needed to get like Triple H lost the first fall. They needed to get him a fall. China helped with that, and then of course the crowd was hot for the pedigree and like, oh, this is it, and then the time expires and stuff like that. Something that they did, and they do it here, or they do it after the match. I don't know if you're gonna talk about it. They did exclusive footage, which I don't know if that was on the pay-per-view or that was on the VHS.
Oh,
I didn't.
this is the VHS. I think this is the VHS version of the show.
Yeah, because I was like, I don't remember this because they have The Rock leaving afterwards and have a couple other things that they do. And I thought that was a cool touch. I thought that was a really nice touch. But yeah, this is just like the middle of the feud, and we're gonna see, of course, the big ladder match very, very soon. But Triple H and The Rock, they were on the come up. They're on the come up, and we're gonna see them for a lot of times in the next couple of years, the year 2000. And then they kind of, well, the Triple H gets hurt, and then The Rock that makes movies, and they peter out for a little bit, and then they have like one more match in 2002, which is like a lackluster random Raw match, but and then that's it for them, which is interesting. I know they tried to do it again. They wanted to do it for like WrestleMania 32 or 34, whichever one, the one after he and Ronda Rousey like beat up Triple H and Stephanie, but it didn't work out. But no, this is like the beginnings of their long, long feud. Technically 97, but like the Rock and Triple H that we're gonna know now.
Hmm.
This is where it's starting.
It develops here. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
All
not
right.
Rocky Maivia versus Hunter or something.
Now, this is the Triple H versus The Rock.
Yes.
Up next, probably the thing everyone remembers the most out of this show, it's the bikini contest with Jackie versus Sable. Um, yeah, Sable's bikini is cool. I have to admit, I wasn't that big of a fan of it even as a kid. I kind of like Jackie's bikini more. Triple H. Vince McMahon comes out to cover her up. She goes, "No way, Jose." Gets more naked. Um, I get the handprints, but I mean, like, they show her in bra and panties on Raw. They show her in and I think that looked much better on her than this. But whatever, everyone remembers it. They put it on the VHS cover when they put this on a VHS for
Wow.
this one. So it is a moment that carries on in American history. Uh, it's fine. I don't know. It's fine. I miss the old Sable. What do you think?
I'm sorry. It did what it was supposed to do. I liked it a lot more when I was younger, probably. As an adult, I'm just like, well, it's a different time. This whole thing is a different time, and that's just kind of how I look at it. Look, I'm not upset to see her body. She's got a nice body. Jacqueline, I was never into Jacqueline because she reminded me of like my school teachers.
Because it was
Just yeah, like I mean, I grew up in Brooklyn, like Black Brooklyn, all black teachers, red lips, all that stuff. So I was just like, anytime I saw her, I was just like, oh God, I got homework. So I never really got into Jacqueline, unfortunately. But no, she does a good job. She does a really good job. The package before that, where they just called Sable like a slut for 5 minutes, is kind of weird. It's just like, why would y'all put this out? It's such a long video package too. I
well,
didn't
this
get
was
it.
the co-main event. It wasn't Rock versus Triple H.
Yeah, this is yeah. They were like, let's do this. This is what the fans want to see. And
Mm-hmm.
then yeah, that's the. But no, I didn't have a big problem with it. It was just the sex part of the attitude era.
It's fine. It is what it is. It's listen. It's important. You don't want to. People don't want to believe it. They kind of think like, but oh, like Sasha and Charlotte stop. This stuff gets you to Charlotte, Sasha. People don't want to admit that, but
It all yeah.
Sable being like the co-main event and being treated seriously as an attraction is how we get there because now it's more about athleticism, but Sable needed to prove that women can draw and women can be a significant part of why you're making money, and now they are. So you know, it
No,
is what
you're
it is.
right. You're right.
I think people don't seem to understand that. They're like, oh, we no. What Sable did was, oh, if we make a woman a co-main event, I'm gonna make money on that. And
Yeah.
that's at the end of the day, that's all. That's all it is. At the end of the day, fucking, that's all these people care about.
Yeah.
So
Sable, China.
yeah. Green is the color people care about. All right, cool. Up next, the main event: Mankind and Kane versus Stone Cold and The Undertaker. Undertaker debuts a new song, which I really
Oh
like.
yeah,
They do tweak it a little bit. Somebody said it sounds like the ER theme, and that is true. So
I never thought of it.
what happened?
I never thought of that.
Yeah. This match is fine. This match is good fine. It's not. I don't think it's pay-per-view level main event. I think everybody's saving themselves for next month. It's a means to an end to get over that Austin and Undertaker have a match at SummerSlam. It's fine. It's not the greatest match of these four guys' career, but it's okay. It's kind of like a TV main event. What do you think?
No, it's definitely like a TV main event. It's just kind of like just here to get you to SummerSlam, pretty much. I remember watching this as a kid. I loved that Undertaker song. That specific fully loaded version, I think just started getting online again. The Vault used to do Titantron Tuesday. I think they stopped for whatever reason for now, but they uploaded the Titantron, I want to say, with this version, which like for the theme song nerds was sought out for years. People were making their own versions of that one. Wrestling theme fandom is a different level. They were making their own little versions of that one, even with like crowd noise cut out and things like. But I think if you look for the Undertaker's Titantron on the vault, you're going to get that version that you hear on Fully Loaded. But and that song, that's my personal favorite Undertaker theme. Like the one that's on Volume 3 when they
Yes,
eventually
the one that they
modify it. Yeah. Not the one where he's speaking in tongues, which is Volume 4. They keep putting in the fucking video games. But Volume 3 one is the one that I love the most out of his theme songs. But no, they're doing more of a change with the Undertaker's character. Like he's still the dead man, but he's a little more of a regular guy, just kind of in weird clothes. But which I like. I love that he took both titles. Like he didn't seem like he got involved for the hot tag, won, took both belts, walked out. I always thought that was so cool. I think I was Team Undertaker, and we'll get to that with SummerSlam. I think I wanted Undertaker to win when I was younger. It's like in the back of my head right now over
Oh, okay.
Austin. But
We'll get when we get to SummerSlam, we're gonna have a lot to talk about because I was there.
oh,
So
there you go. Well, we'll have a first-hand view. But
yeah,
but no, yeah, it was a TV match, but really we were all ready. This was setting up for one thing, and it's Undertaker Austin SummerSlam.
yeah, which is a big show. I think it's a very successful show, especially in terms of Rock Undertaker, Rock Triple H. I think that's the show where I think both guys can point to. That's where they went to the next level. To
No,
be honest.
absolutely. Yeah.
All right. So overall, I would say if you like Attitude Era, watch this. But I don't know. I mean, I love Attitude Era, and even I was like, with this show. It's a means to an end. They're not trying to change the world. So I don't know if you're a big D'Lo Brown fan, it's probably I'm Val Venus fan. It's a must watch. What do you think?
I think
I
if you
think
yeah, if you're very, very curious about what happened, um, yeah, you can check it out. Or I don't know if the Raw after is on Netflix because they
that was a good Raw. That was a good
yeah,
Raw.
because you can also do that if it's on Netflix. If you really like Sable, I'd watch the show. If you like Sable and her body, I'd watch this show. But outside of that, you don't really have to go out of your way to watch it.
Yeah. All right, let's review the next 4 weeks of wrestling action. Next week, we're going to talk about ECW Heatwave 98, which will be the Dudleys versus Team Tommy Dreamer. In 2 weeks, it's Road Wild 98, which is Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff versus DDP and Jay Leno. You can believe it. In 3 weeks, it's SummerSlam 98, which is Austin versus Undertaker. And then in 4 weeks, it's Fall Brawl 98, which features NWO Hollywood versus NWO Wolfpack versus Team WCW in a War Games match. Now, we're getting to the part of this journey where we're about to see the last ever anythings. Like, we're going to start counting like this is the last. And it kicks off with Fall Brawl 98. So, Fall Brawl 98 is the last ever WCW War Games match on pay per view. There's
Mm.
never happens again.
Wow.
October of '98 is the last ever Hogan Warrior match. That never happens again.
That's for the
November,
best.
yeah, for the best. November '98 is the last ever World War III Battle Royal. That never happens again.
Also for the best.
And then December, which I think this is the saddest. No, War Game's pretty sad, but I think this is really sad. It's the final Ric Flair Starcade match at Starcade.
Mm,
He never else, and he loses to Eric Bischoff. And it's
mm.
Mr. Starcade. This was like his event, and he
That
loses.
sucks.
That is that is like Shawn Michaels losing to Nick Khan at his final WrestleMania.
Hey, he hasn't stopped. Hey, who knows what's gonna happen in Saudi Arabia at WrestleMania? They're gonna try and get Michaels back.
But yeah, we're gonna start saying, even though like there's a lot of WCW left, we're gonna start saying goodbye to we start saying goodbye to things in a few
Their
weeks.
traditions, yeah.
I don't know how that makes you feel.
No, that sucks. I didn't think about it that way. That
Yeah,
that is bittersweet.
yeah. So, obviously there's still war game matches now, but they're word for years, and it's just not the same as the WCW ones. And obviously Ric Flair's never gonna wrestle a Starcade again because there's no Starcades. So
Yeah.
and
They
such.
brought it back once for like a house show that they put on the network,
uh,
which I don't know where if that's even on the vault. That could be lost forever
I think it's
because somebody thought it was a good idea to destroy the network, which is now gone in all countries. Speaking of, the geniuses, wonderful people at WWE and Netflix, they have blocked American VPNs from seeing any WWE content. Like they just ah. Because sometimes I like to watch NXT on there. If I don't want to deal with the CW, or if I miss at 10 o'clock and I don't have a didn't record or whatever, or even SmackDown, me if I want to watch it on a different network and not the network that we have in America, I I don't get to. I can't now. I can't. I'm not trying to steal your stupid little pay-per-views, which I'm not stealing anyway because I fucking pay for Netflix. So I wouldn't be stealing it because you're still getting the money. But it's just ah the
Dude,
way they go, the way they go out of their way to just make things so unfan friendly. Is just so frustrating.
so I haven't gone on Peacock in a while. I went on yesterday because I'm still paying for it. I remember I got that deal when the Peacock deal was ending, but I got Apple and Peacock commercial free.
Uh,
I watched Severance last night. I said I gotta watch Severance. I'm paying for this fucking thing. And then I went to Peacock to fall asleep to either Cheers, Frasier, or Murder She Wrote because they had all those, all gone. Streaming
right.
has gotten so fucking bad. It's just the worst. I think most streaming services the worst deals in the world. Severance is okay. I enjoyed the first episode, but I didn't get into. I didn't get my Netflix subscription in 2010, my WWE Network subscription in 2014. That wasn't so I could watch a bunch of new content that stinks. I don't give a shit about Severance. I truly don't. I got all these things so I could watch the old shows whenever I feel like it. And that's gone. And it's like, well, we're giving you Severance and we're giving you Twisted Metal. I don't want it. Save your fucking money. Tell fucking Patricia Arquette and tell fucking I think De Niro's showing Apple Plus. Tell them to stay home. I want my old
I
fucking
want Cheers.
what?
I
I
want
want
Cheers.
I don't want you to put all this money into an office spinoff called The Paper. I
It's not
want
bad.
well, I don't care. I
Sorry.
need what's the other show they have on Peacock?
Ted is funny too.
Show with the Suki girl from Succession. I tell all these actors to stay. Thanks, but no thanks. Stay home. Um, keep your Emmys up. Shove them up your ass. And
Apparently you can watch Cheers on Paramount Plus, Hulu, Pluto TV, and Disney Plus. Allegedly.
doesn't matter. I was on Peacock.
It
I was
was.
on fucking Peacock. And the crazy thing is Yellowstone, which is like Paramount's top show, is on Peacock. It's on Paramount Plus. So if you're like a Yellowstone head, you've got to have Yellowstone. You've got to have
Yellowstone
Paramount.
hits.
You got to have Paramount Plus, and you've got to have Peacock, and you probably also have to have cable because there's still. I think they can. I think there's a new Yellowstone show. I don't know. My whole point is, I remember a lot of old people being pissed because they got Paramount Plus to watch the Yellowstone spinoffs, and then like, well, I want to watch Yellowstone. Like, well, you've got to watch it. on Peacock. And you're like, but why?
Yeah. No, it
But
doesn't make any sense.
Yellowstone is not. So I guess I could become a Yellowstone freak. But there's like no old shows. Peacock used to have a ton of old shows. There's hardly any old shows left, and the ones they have are like, I mean, they have Hunter.
I don't know what Hunter is.
It was an '80s cop. It's basically like it's every. If you ever see a parody of an '80s cop show, they're parodying Hunter. It's like a guy who shoots first, asks questions later.
Oh, okay.
Somebody had to
Yeah.
do my. I work alone. All that for 7 seasons.
Yeah.
So,
No, they take off a lot of these shows. I mean, the reason they do it, they sell them off to the other streamers and make their money that way. That's why you see so many things on Tubi and Hulu and da 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 da. But
yeah,
and then they go away after a couple months, and you have to chase them again if you really want to watch Hunter, like you said. Then you gotta and get Hulu to watch it this time if you really want to watch it. It's just frustrating stuff and not fun times that we live in,
what
especially
gets
with
me
TV.
I get HBO Max so I can watch all the DC shows and I can watch Looney Tune cartoons because it was all owned by Warner Brothers. So I'm
They're
still
gone
getting
now, aren't they? Some of them?
they originally they were years ago, right? And
Hmm.
now they've moved all those cartoons to Tubi and they go like, good news, it's on Tubi. It's like, but I don't want to watch commercials during Cow and Chicken or fucking some Adult Swim shows are on Tubi now. Like
Yes.
not that's not that's not a compromise. That's not. I'm paying for HBO Max. I'm paying for Disney Plus so I can watch DuckTales commercial free. I don't give a shit that Tubi is going to give you more money to put DuckTales on Tubi. Like there's no way now around. I have to sit through commercials when I watch like fucking Scooby Doo at this point, right, or whatever. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm just saying
And it's not
no,
like three commercials. It's like eight commercials sometimes.
yeah, there has to be a way around it. Like, what am I paying you for? Like, and they would tell you, well, you're paying us for severance. And I'm like, well, take severance and shove it up your ass.
I want Scooby too.
I'm fucking Scooby Doo. Like that. I think that's the fair trade off is making these shows like Severance and the one that Vince Gill just made with. No, I don't care. I honestly don't. Like, I honestly don't. It's like, hold on. And also, all this shit used to be for free. Like, you just go on fucking ABC and they give you Lost for free.
Not
You
anymore.
all over the time Lost was on, and you could watch it. Prison Break free, Arrow, Smallville free, Buffy free.
I wish Arrow and Smallville and all that stuff was still around so they could do the synergy again with NXT, but they don't have those shows anymore. They have
No,
like NASCAR and they have
they
like
got
three drama shows maybe.
not even the CW's not what it was. People used to make fun of the CW, and like now it's gone. Like you still want to make. There's no jobs for actors because all these shows got canceled, and they basically. I saw an interview with the guy who played Richard Dragon on Arrow. He was also in Oz. Kurt Acevedo. He was also on Fringe, and he's like,
Mm.
I got to sell my house. There's no. He goes, these streaming companies. Like I'm watching. Like the whole cast of Severance is like major stars, right? Playing like the roles
Hmm.
that they played. He goes like, are you going to cast me in Severance? You need to cast this Oscar winner. He goes, so I've been, and now the CW's not making shows. This is not making shows. I can't make a living. And I was on Oz, and I was the main villain on Arrow, and I'm on all this shit. It doesn't matter, and that's what's happening. They're squeezing out the middle class.
No, a lot of people are getting screwed over. A lot more people are doing conventions because they don't have money.
Yeah,
They can't work. There's no place to work. People don't want to make new shows. So if they make new shows, like you said, they have Severance. Like who are you gonna get? It's like comedy. They can get us, or they can go get Louis C.K.
yeah,
Who are you gonna give
and
the Netflix special to? It's not gonna be us. Be
yeah,
nice.
and that's the thing. It's like De Niro's doing TV, Al Pacino's doing TV, Nicole Kidman has like 4 TV shows. You're gonna, but also the other thing, people make fun of the CW. Hey man, the CW had 8 or 9 shows. They're producing 22 episodes a year that gave a lot of actors work. Now that's all gone. Now it's NXT for 2 hours on a Tuesday. So
And then a bunch of other sports.
I'm sure you miss and every drama they're showing is made in Canada. They're outsourcing them. So do you miss the CW now? Do you miss Smallville now? Do you miss fucking Arrow and Gossip Girl now? Because fucking Wallace Shaw could afford to make plays because he was getting paid on Gossip Girl. You fucking morons.
It's the bad times.
All
This
turning.
wasn't a bad time, but other stuff was.
No, '98's a great time. But it's all turning to shit. And
Yes.
fucking thank God for the Internet Archive for We can watch Blood In, Blood Out. No, no wrestling. I watch wrestling on Netflix and the legal way.
Yep. Netflix, all legal. Whatever I said about VPN, that was a character. I was JBL. I was KBL.
If it's
That's who I
not,
was.
I forget it exists.
Yep.
WWE. You wanted
Yep.
me to. On the vault, but it's
Only
back.
the Vault, only Netflix, only ESPN, and the wonderful USA Network that I can't say nothing but nice things about.
Oh, by the way, on Threads, I've sent some people the ECW shows. They're so fucking happy. It's like they rediscovered God. It's great. God. Jesus has been resurrected this weekend because EC.
All right. And on that note,
On that note, happy happy Easter weekend. Praise be to the Lord. Praise be to Stone Cold. Screw you, Tony Khan, and burn in hell, Peacock. And we'll see you next week.
there
Thanks.
you go.